What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As promised, got a few things that arrived in the mail or via FedEx today, so I want to take a look at those. But I'd like to say also, if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for stopping in. Hit the subscribe button right now and go ahead and tap that little bell as well. You want to stay up to date. Got a lot of things going on and you don't want to miss it. So let's get into this one. If you saw my last video, you saw, which you should go check it out if you haven't, you saw that I again had problems with the Chemical Guys clay bar alternative, their clay block. I emailed them again, of course, right away on Sunday. I got a response back from the guy that I have been talking to over the last couple of weeks, resolving the initial issue. And like I said, very responsive, great customer service. I just simply stated in the email that, you know, I'm not looking for additional product. I'm not looking for another clay block or anything of that nature. I just wanted to let them know basically that there may be an issue. There may be an issue with this product, and I wanted them to be aware of it. So he responded right away and said he'd let the manufacturer know, forwarded my email on, and so on. So hopefully this doesn't become an issue for Chemical Guys, and it's a great idea for a product, but again, hopefully it's not an issue. Nonetheless, we're moving on. We got other things going on. I really just wanted to give you an update about that first and kind of reiterate the point that although there was an issue with this particular product, I don't have any negative feelings towards Chemical Guys as a company. They have great customer service, great response, very willing to help out and resolve the issue, and also have some really good products in terms of polishes and detail sprays and things of that nature. So, you know, good quality stuff overall, good quality guys and gals that work for the company, and there you have it. So let's move on. Like I said in the last video, I had some stuff on order so we can get this exhaust system wrapped up and finished, at least back to the resonators, and some of that stuff came in. So I want to take a look at it, even though it might not be all that super exciting, but at least then maybe you'll get an idea of what I'm actually talking about rather than just listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. So let's go take a look at that now. What do we got? We got the 3-inch flange from Vibrant Performance, because if you remember, the whole idea is to create this Y pipe, or this Y portion, to connect to the 1320 Performance Y pipe. So along with the flange, obviously we have to have the 3-inch gasket from Vibrant. Excellent, good quality stuff. And then to bring it all together, we got this Y pipe, this section of Y. Not quite as awesome as I thought it was going to be. It's really wide open. There's a little bit of inconsistency in there as far as you can't really tell where these pipes come into this encasing, what the hell, the pressed, whatever the hell they call this. So this little section of pipe only goes in here, and there is some lip inside there. So I'm going to try to fill that if I can get the welder down in there, just to get it nice and smooth. And maybe we can get something down in there to smooth it out. But oh yeah, I can do it with my finger. Anyway, the whole idea is to have this set up. This is 3-inch. And the 3-inch, I was hoping it was going to be just a little under 3 inches so I could get it to go in here. But I guess we'll do the welding around here, and maybe we'll do it inside and get it nice and smoothed out. So this is the stock Y pipe that we took off, and just so you can get an idea, this was maybe 2.5 inches, I believe. This is that 3-inch flange. It's going to bolt up just fine, but you can see here this lip. So that's a major difference in terms of being able to flow a higher volume of air. So where this portion of pipe connects to, if you can imagine looking at it from the other direction, currently with the 1320 Performance Y pipe bolting up to it, this bit here is definitely restricting the air as it comes from the engine toward the back. of the car and out the exhaust. This is a kind of a no good situation. So that's what we're trying to eliminate with this here. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a unique setup, but I think it's gonna work. We'll test it out. I'm honestly a little worried. Look how wide open it is inside there. I'm a little worried it's gonna act more like an echo chamber. So we'll have to see how it sounds. But that's really the whole point of experimentation, right? We're testing something out. We're trying to prove a point that we can have a high-performing car without spending a ton of money. And if you're able to fabricate some things on your own and try some different things out, why not do it? This part here, it's stainless steel. It's pretty heavy duty. It looks decent. And we'll probably paint it with some high heat paint and wrap it with the exhaust wrap like we did the rest of the exhaust. But this was $13 on Amazon. The gasket I think was $12 or $15, or the flange. The flange was just as much as the Y portion of pipe. And then a gasket, and we'll weld it up. It'll take a few minutes. We'll get it cleaned up and looking good, and we'll have spent $40 on this whole setup here. So it's worth it, and if we can, these two sections, we'll just run some section of pipe and connect it to the stock resonators, and it'll be done. If it sounds like crap, we'll cut it off, and we'll do something different. But in the end, to experiment it with it, see how it sounds, see if it increases performance for 40 or 50 bucks. I mean, it doesn't hurt. At least you all will know if it doesn't work, that's not something that you want to do. And I guess that's the goal ultimately of these videos anyways, is for me to experiment and share my experiences with everyone that's interested in watching. And if you can learn something from it, excellent. If you can learn something that you don't want to do from it, excellent as well. So I got a few minutes here. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be or how much progress I'll make in this particular video, but since we're at it, we're in the garage here. I'm going to just tack this flange up to this portion of pipe here, and we'll see if it's even going to work. Got her all welded up. A little rusty in the welding, but it turned out pretty good. I didn't get it perfectly straight, but it's not too bad. I think it'll work just fine. Cleaned up the inside a little bit as well, so we're all smooth and the air should flow nicely. I did start to paint it, but I wanted to show you the inside here first. I'm not going to throw any paint inside, obviously, but it's not looking too bad. Do about 3 coats of paint, and then we will test fit it. Just make sure everything fits up flush, and kind of get an idea of what we got to do to finish it out. So here we go. Final coat, Ecutek engine enamel ceramic coating. Here we go.
Whoa.
have to say I was a little iffy about this Y setup at first, but once I got it cleaned up and I had the flange welded on, I'm actually kind of excited now. I even shopped around a bit for some other options, but the traditional Y thing that you can purchase online, I read some reviews that were relatively negative, that they were really rough inside, caused some weird vibrations. Didn't want to deal with that. Looked at the MagnaFlow one, which looked more like a direct Y, but it turns out, according to the reviews, that the pipe that actually was received by the customers looked nothing like the one in the picture. So I didn't want to deal with that either, so I decided to move forward with this. And now that it's cleaned up and painted, really glossy and smooth, I'm excited to bolt it up. I might even fire it up, see what it sounds like without any you know, mid-pipe or rest of the exhaust system on it, just for the fun of it. Forgot I got this fancy new mic. We'll see how this bad boy works too. Hopefully everybody can hear me. So if you remember, one thing that I didn't like about this particular little stamped Y pipe was that inside there were some grooves and some gaps that I was afraid the exhaust flow would cause some weird vibration or weird flow to the exhaust as it entered this portion of the pipe. And unfortunately I can't get the welder in there to put some beads in. However, we're going to do some more experimentation. We got a little extreme high heat JB weld. It's the next best thing. I think like the tensile strength is like 3,000 psi, so hopefully it can hold up to some vibration. And also I think it's good up to 1,000 degrees, which is pretty significant, and I don't think the exhaust is going to be getting that hot, at least not in that portion of it. So I've started with a layer to smooth some things out in there with some halved paint stir sticks and, you know, the good old finger. So let me just show you what it looks like now, and then I'll show you when it's finished up, but it's looking pretty good so far. Rewind the video a bit and take a look at this portion of the pipe and how it came. There were gaps around the two individual pipes as they come into the stamped portion, and also, you know, the stamped portion comes in two halves, so this top half and the bottom half meet, and therefore right in the middle you can kind of see a groove left over still, but we filled that in and got the gaps around the pipe filled. I've done 2 layers so far. It may take a third, and we're just doing thin layers. We don't want any cracking. We want it to dry evenly, but I think this will do the trick, and I've gone all the way around, so we're gonna eliminate any at least too much turbulence. We'll see how it works. I mean, if it sounds like crap, I guess we'll take it out, but we've gone this far. Can't stop now. It's a masterpiece. Okay, I don't know about that. But it turned out pretty decent. Still drying on the inside, but we got rid of a lot of the weird textures in there. So there's still a little part of me that fears that this will be just a large echo chamber, just because of how wide open it is on the inside. But you know, there's been a number of reviews. When you look for this part online, there's a number of reviews and no complaints in terms of weird vibration or weird sound that's caused by it. So maybe my concern is all for naught. If nothing else, we can get some of that Dynamat, you know, sound deadening adhesive mat used to kind of insulate the interior of your car, and we can just put it up, you know, on the underside just above this, or we can pull the carpet up and lay it down on the floor of the car too, just to kind of muffle that sound or deaden that sound a bit if there is a little bit of vibration. And like I said, this is a cheap enough thing and kind of a fun enough project where I didn't mind doing it, and if it doesn't work out or it sounds like crap, we'll just pull it out and start fresh. But for right now, I'm pretty pleased with it actually. The inside has dried and we got it smoothed out. it'll focus. And there, smooth out as it could be. It's built up quite a bit to have a nice slope to each pipe, so the air should flow relatively freely through there without much issue. And all the gaps, I could have done a little bit better, but I'm going to sand the edges down and get it really smooth out. But I just wanted to show you here. But all the gaps around the individual pipes have been filled, so the air and tapered. I just used my finger and tapered all the gaps, so the air should flow relatively freely without much obstruction through here. And we got about 3 coats of paint, 3 or 4 coats of paint on it, so it's nice and shiny and should be well protected from any of the elements, and that's going to be a good thing. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to install it today. My wife has a bunch of other projects on her mind, so I'll do that in the next video. Hopefully I can get to it tomorrow and put that video up same day, so stay tuned for that. But we got this flange welded on. We have an appointment. Unfortunately, I don't have any lengths of pipe, and and no pipe bender in case we need that. So I do have an appointment for this week to get this tied into the back half of the exhaust. So we're gonna see how rattly it is tomorrow on its own, and then we'll take it in. We'll get the lengths of pipe. We'll hook it right up to the stock resonators, and the exhaust should be ready to go. I'm going to talk to them as well about finishing out the final portion and maybe redoing the muffler delete, see what they need to make that happen. But we'll be finished with the exhaust. We got the tune coming up in just like 4 weeks now, so super excited about that. See what else we can finish up in that amount of time. So stay tuned. Don't want to miss it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.